Okay, guys, so I got Bruce on the line. Bruce, if you for those of you that watched the live stream on Saturday, and the live stream yesterday on the backup channel, for anybody that doesn't know, the live streaming from now on is being done on the backup channel. It has to be that way for at least a little while. I don't have a choice in the matter. So, um, anybody that hasn't subscribed to the backup channel, I strongly recommend you do that. I'll put the link in the description box of this video. But I have Bruce on the line. Say hello, Bruce.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, shoot. Hold on. I think I screwed it. Hold on. I forgot that I had the headset plugged in, so I don't know if it got all the sound. Let me see. So Bruce, if you guys had watched the live stream, is the gentleman that had a check. Okay, he had a check that was sent to him from Fidelity. He used his trust account to basically open an account with Fidelity, and he had done a deposit of $500 into his Fidelity account. Well, he ended up receiving a checkbook, deposit slips, and he ended up receiving a debit card from Fidelity, which was as a result of this transaction. Now, for some reason, they ended up, I don't know if the payment reversed or what, but they ended up sending him a check for the amount that that he had attempted to fund his account with. So this check is valid. He's already called and verified that. He can go to any bank pretty much and go and cash this. He's not doing so because he wants to use this as proof that the accounts exist, and that these third party processors and these different lenders and creditors and companies that we've been paying our bills with that say that the transaction is reversed and the money is going back. Well, we know that they can't send the money back unless they want to pay a hefty fine from the Federal Reserve. So this here, he was smart, and he's had this check for about, I don't know, a week or two, and he's held on to that because he knew that it was proof of that. So this kind of will set precedents and give us more proof for us to call our lenders, our companies, our creditors that have been basically stealing our money when we pay our bills to them, and they have been pocketing it versus giving it to us, or actually keeping the payment processed, being that the money cannot be sent back. So we're going to call Fidelity right now, and we're going to get Fidelity to verify the existence of this check and why the check was received, and what account processed this check, processed this payment, and funded this, which turns out to be the letter G on the list for the Federal Reserve. Yeah, so this is the first proof of actual cash, if you will, that we have. This is huge, guys. This is absolutely huge, and everybody make sure to thank Bruce for being willing to provide this proof, and being willing to call Fidelity and get this information for everyone. This is like so big, it's not even funny, all right? So I'm going to pause this video, and I'm going to start calling Fidelity, and once we get talking to Fidelity, I'll resume recording for you guys. See, this is the check.
Thank you for choosing Fidelity Investments. My name is Chase Coppola. How can I assist you today?
Hello, how you doing? My name is Bruce. I was calling to ask you a few questions concerning a check that I had got recently in the mail. And I tried to cash it, and I was having trouble cashing it. And I called the number, and the number told me to call the bank, UMB Bank National, told me to call you all because that's where the check came from. So I was calling to see about this check and see if I can possibly get the information on why I can't cash cash it or anything.
Okay, yeah, we can take a look into that for you, sir. Just to start off, do you happen to have the account number that check is written from?
I got the account number.
Okay. This is a check from your account, is that correct?
I used it. I wrote a check from another bank to my account, but instead of it going into my account, they sent me a check, and I was just wondering about that.
So just to be clear here, sir, so you received this check from a different institution, and now you're trying to deposit it into your Fidelity account, is that correct?
No, Fidelity. I had opened an account with Fidelity probably like last month, and the first thing that I did was sent myself a check from my banking account, and I received the check a few weeks later, and I was trying to cash the check, and I'm having trouble cashing it. I've never had another checking account other than the one with you all. I just started it, so I was wondering about it. No, it came from you all. It came from, especially from your bank also. The UMB bank.
So what do you have the account number, sir?
Yeah, I have the information of the check and everything if you want it.
Yeah, I'm looking to pull up the account number since this check's from your account.
Okay, my account number to my Fidelity account?
Yes, your Fidelity account number. Take a look at this for us, Mr. Jones. I've got the account pulled up here. So you wrote the check off of your Fidelity account, and you're trying to cash it somewhere, and it's not going through, correct, Mr. Jones?
Correct. And when I called it, on the check, it has a 800 number. And I called the number, and they said that I could cash it at any third party, post point or whatever. And I still had trouble. And I also opened I also updated my information from a telecheck, which I know that's not concerning you all or not. But yeah, I have the check in my hand.
Right. So just to clarify here, Mr. Jones, so you wrote a check from a checkbook that's linked to your Fidelity account, correct? And it's not cashing?
I didn't write a check out of a checkbook. I went on the website, and y'all sent me a checkbook that after I written the check. I went on the website and I sent myself a check through another checking account, from another checking account to deposit into my account. And they sent me a check. Instead of depositing the money into my account, they sent me a check.
So when you say they, Mr. Jones, I'm just trying to clarify the situation to be clear here. So there's two banks, there's two parties involved, right? There's Fidelity and the other institution.
The UMB National Bank.
So which one did the check originally come from?
I wrote the check through Fidelity. I don't have a bank account with the UMB Bank at all.
No. UMB Bank is just a bank that Fidelity uses. We're not technically a bank.
Oh, okay, so that's what I'm saying. I got a check from that bank stating that I could use this check, and I had the only other possible way I could have gotten this check was when I had sent me a $500 check from my account, and instead of it going into my account, they sent me a check, and now I can't cash the check. I was really wondering what was going on with it, what's going on with all the situation anyway. What's the reason for the check to be exact, instead of it going straight to my account.
So I'm doing my best here, Mr. Jones, to understand the situation here.
Hey,
where's this money originating from?
Okay, Mr. Jones, I'm Mr. Jones's brother. I can handle this easier for him. Hey, Brucey, can you let him know I can talk for you to help you?
Yeah, his name is Mike. Is he all right? Can he? Because he can pretty much tell you what's going on with me. Also,
he asked me to help him out because he's having trouble explaining everything to you. So
exactly. Yeah.
Is that acceptable?
Hello.
Is that acceptable?
Okay, yep. So, with your permission, Mr. Jones, I can speak to this gentleman on any.
Yes, you come up.
Yep, that's acceptable.
Okay. So basically, Bruce.
So what exactly is going on, sir?
Bruce had opened a Fidelity account with you guys. Okay. He opened a Fidelity account, and he had basically used his other bank account to fund his Fidelity account. He had done an electronic e-payment, ACH or check, of $500 to fund his account. Now, what happened was he received, his checkbook, he received his deposit book, he received a debit card, and instead of that $500 going into the Fidelity account, he was sent a check for the $500. So he was trying to understand first why he was sent a check for $500 instead of that money going into the Fidelity account, and secondly, he was trying to figure out, what the deal is with that $500 check. He also was trying to verify that the proper financial institution, his other bank, was used. That's one of the reasons why Bruce was calling. He was trying to verify. Could you let Bruce know which financial institution it was that funded his account? Because he has trouble sometimes with doing handling electronic things.
Just before I start, do you mind if I have your first and last name real quickly?
Sure. Mike Jones.
I appreciate that. So, Mike, this money was sent from a different institution than Fidelity, and I understand that from their website he requested electronic transfer, and for some reason they decided to cut him a check. I'm not really sure why they did that. The only reason I could think of is that if he typed in the information for it to be sent over, if he did so incorrectly, maybe they defaulted to send him a check. I can't speak for that institution. But going forward with that check, he can certainly forward that to Fidelity, or stop by a local investor center, or use mobile deposit feature on our app to deposit that $500 into his Fidelity account, because it is currently not funded at a zero balance.
Okay, so the basically what happened was he may have incorrectly when he was funding the account, he may have incorrectly selected the proper settings, and instead of it going into the account, it ended up just kind of being sent to him by default. Now, Bruce was trying to figure out. He wanted to verify the account. The account that it came from, because he thinks he may have used the wrong. He's got a couple different credit checking accounts. He thinks it may have come from the wrong account. So could you verify which bank account he used for that?
I wouldn't be able to, Mike, because I can't see that check. It hasn't been scanned into our system.
Yeah, not the check.
So
I'm talking about the transaction that was done from his other account to Fidelity, which ended up creating that check.
Yeah, great question. Again, for the same reason I can't see it, Mike. That's on their system. If he was to send funds from one institution to Fidelity, once we receive them, we would be able to see the source. But again, at this point, you folks don't have the check, so I couldn't tell you where the originating institution was.
So, but if it was on Fidelity that he processed that. It was supposed to be directly to Fidelity that that he was funding that $500. He was paying that $500.
So he was on Fidelity's website, pull funds from another institution into Fidelity,
Right.
and it ended up sending him a check.
Right. Correct, Bruce?
Correct. That is correct.
Right.
Yes, it is. So,
I can take a look into it. As of right now, I don't see anything, but let me check.
Because
one thing
he has the
real quick.
check. If he was to give you the different information, the routing account number and the check number, would that help at all? So you could kind of figure out what exactly was going on there, and where that check, which account that check came from, like which, not the check itself, which account the transaction he tried to process, because he has certain accounts that are supposed to be used, but he normally has other family handle that kind of stuff, and he thinks that he may have accidentally used the wrong account. So that's why we were trying to figure that out. There's one account where he cannot. It's a trust, and he cannot use, like, he can't actually check to see if it came out of there. He didn't mean to use that one. He meant to use his normal checking account.
All right, let me take a look there. So I see a form that he submitted here for the transfer of assets,
Yep.
and I can take a look at that account and see if that may help you guys track down which bank.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So he wrote here's the firm name being Folio First.
yeah, that's an account from that's a stock account from T-Mobile that I just recently added onto the
You hear that,
account.
Mike?
Yeah, the folio is from stock.
Yeah, so that's the most recent thing I can see here in terms of like funds being pulled in.
But that wasn't that wasn't where the check originated from, correct? That's not where the funds were transferred from.
No.
Right, I do have an account number there. In terms of like a different bank.
Does it show that? Does it show
So the funds are from a different place.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there should be.
Right?
It doesn't show like a.
Is that correct?
What? You say what now?
Does it show a?
Here's what I can do for you, gentlemen. Let me reach out to my back office and see if I can clarify and see if.
Okay.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Did you hear me, Mike?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Place you in a brief hold. I'll be right back. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mike. Thank you for your patience. So I reached out to my back office to see if they could track down this $500 transaction here. So we're both in the opinion that this is a separate transaction than the transfer of assets that I see here. But we can't find any record here on Fidelity's end of you requesting like this $500 deposit into the account. We do see a transfer of assets from the folio first, like I mentioned earlier. But again, you wouldn't receive directly a check from that. Fidelity would, if not receive it electronically.
So that folio is definitely not the source. It's is there, if we were to give you a possible routing number, would you be able to look it up by that?
When you say routing number, you mean like for Fidelity or a different institution?
For the institution that we believe was used for the account that he has that was used for that, possibly?
I mean, I can certainly try. I mean, I would just end up using Google. But yeah, if you want to relay that to me, I can do my best here.
Well, so yeah, it's not. We know what bank that routing number would belong to. It's we're just trying to see if that was definitely. How would he be able to go in and actually look at the I mean, because there's got to be some kind of a receipt of that transaction.
So I can assure you here at the Fidelity end, there definitely is not. I just looked with my back office. We can't see one. So it may have been an unrelated transaction at that bank that sent the check. Maybe he closed up the account. I can't really say. I would definitely go on his account at that institution or give them a call and see what that $500 is all about.
So that.
But at the end of the day here, Mike, if he's looking to deposit the funds, I mean, he can simply forward that check to us and we can deposit it into one of his Fidelity accounts if that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, I've never. It's not you. Don't worry. I'm not. It's not. I'm not saying that to you. I've never heard of like because he was on Fidelity's site and he made a transaction to fund his Fidelity, and I believe it was through his trust, which he wasn't supposed to do, which is why we're trying to track that down, because if that's the case, then we got to try to get that squared away. But he was actually on, so that it's kind of strange that there's like no record of this transaction when he's got a check as a result of it, that he used his account, and there's no like receipt of transaction. So I don't understand why if he funded his if he was on Fidelity.com, right, Bruce? You were on Fidelity.com when you did this?
As a matter of fact, I got the date that I had. It was around the 7th or the 6th or somewhere around there. I got the check. The check was posted on the 8th. I mean on the 9th, and I received the check on the 10th. So it had to have been like overnight type thing. And yeah, I was on the Fidelity website because I was told that Fidelity was a good site to do your business, your personal business on. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a reliable site. It just seems like there may be some confusion here. I guess well, I think I can look for Mr. Jones to try to look into a different account here for us real quickly here. And Mr. Jones, you said you were on Fidelity.com earlier, right?
Earlier today?
Just in the past when you were on the Fidelity account?
When you processed the transaction.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, what was the username that you used when you signed in?
It was my, I thought you was asking what name we get.
Yeah, so, gentlemen, I can't see that $500. I'm not sure where it's from, to be honest. It sounds like it's in transfer from that other institution. I'm not really sure, why they sent you a check. Again, I can't speak to them, so I really want to talk about the next best steps if we can, all right?
Which institution are you mentioning? Is there, when you're on Fidelity, and you make a process of payment or something, does that go through some other facility besides Fidelity?
When you say process of payment, what do you mean by that, Mike?
Because he did, like I was saying, when he went on Fidelity and opened account, he funded his account. That's what that $500 was supposed to be. It was a payment that he had processed. So how you've got your own checking account, your main checking account. So Bruce he's got a trust account, he's got his checking account, and then he's got just another kind of account. So he used what I think happened was he was on Fidelity, and when he was on Fidelity, Bruce, you opened an account on Fidelity, correct? And then I think that you used your trust account to he put in the routing number and the account number, and then selected $500 to fund the Fidelity account. And is that what you did, Bruce? You used your routing number and checking account number on Fidelity?
Yes.
Okay.
I used the routing number for the routing number and the checking number.
And what was that routing number that you used, Bruce?
The routing number that you want me to tell you? The whole number?
Yeah.
It's 071 00301.
Okay. So you used the trust account routing number then. So he used that on Fidelity to fund $500 into his account, and then so when he does that, does that mean that is there another bank that would then handle that, or because you're saying there's no record of it, so would it be, that's what I'm not understanding, is where this other bank that's cutting this check is coming into play? Is it not Fidelity that handles those processes? It goes to another bank. We just need to track it down, so I need to know where we got to go and who we got to call to do that.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that, Mike, and your patience in trying to clarify the situation here. It definitely sounds like, from the get-go there may have been some confusion, but long story short, if you guys were on Fidelity.com and you requested to fund this account, if you submitted that on Fidelity, then we would have reached out to the other institution, whichever bank had that $500 to begin with, and for whatever reason, I'm not really sure why, they decided they would send you a check as opposed to sending it electronically. Again, I can't speak for whomever actually sent you the $500 check.
So,
make that clear.
So UMB is not your bank?
I can't. What was that, gentlemen? You're both talking.
UMB is not your bank?
UMB is a bank that Fidelity works with.
Because that's where the check is cut from, is UMB.
That's where it's cut from, UMB checking. It's UMB National. It's located in
it says
Kansas City, Missouri.
Online Bill Payment Processing Center is what it says.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, gentlemen, I don't see any $500 in regards to any of that information that you guys just shared with me here. But I'm kind of at a loss here. So I guess I'm not sure what we did to begin with on the website, because there's no actual bank account linked to Fidelity account right now. And
it was just like it asked me, it was a button on there that says transfer, and I clicked transfer because I was trying to transfer funds from the bank account. I didn't know I was using the wrong route number. So my brother was telling me that we should get this $500 back. So do you think the best method is us to call the bank that cut me the check and find out where it came from, if it came from this account? Because I really want to make sure that I don't get in any trouble or anything, or pay the wrong things, or get a fine from Fidelity or anything like that, or get my account blocked. Because if you don't know where it came from, then the only people that know where it came from is UMB National.
So here's what I would say. Yeah, here's what I would say, Mr. Jones, right? So we tried to request $500 into Fidelity from an outside bank account. Is that statement true?
Yes, I'm completely true about it. It's the only account that I try to transfer funds from when it comes to that, other than PayPal. And as you can tell, my PayPal account is not even on there at all.
Right, but my just to make sure though, because again, we've been going back and forth. Right. I want to make sure I understand this clearly.
It was an outside bank that, yes, he attempted.
Okay, and we tried to process that on Fidelity.com.
Correct.
Oh, it processed.
To pull the funds from the outside bank into Fidelity.
Correct.
Yeah, it processed because it sent me a check. Now, why they send me a check instead of putting it electronically in my account is a mind-boggling situation that I don't understand. Why wasn't it transferred into my account, and why isn't there no record? See, that right there within itself is starting to make me a little bit suspicious, you would say, because I made the process on Fidelity's website. Matter of fact, it was a few days before my wedding when I did it, and I ended up getting a check anyway in process of it.
Right. So guys, I want to clarify the situation here. So we were on Fidelity.com. We processed to fund the check or fund the account with $500 from an outside bank. That outside bank that you have an account with, some kind of checking account, then sent you a check for $500 as opposed to depositing it right into Fidelity Electronics.
They didn't send the check though. It came from UMB National. It came from your bank. The check. Yeah, basically he tried to fund the account. Okay, the fund went through, but instead of posting to Fidelity to the Fidelity account, Fidelity's bank, UMB National, sent him a check from the online bill payment processing center for the amount that he tried to fund the Fidelity account with.
Right, and I understand that, but I guess what I'm confused about is that there was never a balance in this account to begin with. So you're saying that in an attempt to fund the account, Fidelity sent him a check from this account, from Fidelity, didn't have any money, to then have to send it back to us to fund it?
Yeah, it's not that he's sending it back to fund it. We're trying to track down the specific account that was used because, like I said, I believe it was from the trust, which he wasn't supposed to do that. He's got it's not intentional. It's an accident. So he's got to replace that. But that's why we're trying to track that down. But what happened was he made the online payment for $500 trying to fund his Fidelity account. He must have used a wrong account. Instead of using his normal checking, he used his trust account. And it ended up going through instead of it processing and posting to the Fidelity account, something happened where Fidelity received the money, obviously, because they sent him a check, through UMB National from the online bill payment processing center, a check in the amount of $500. Which
all right, and their ultimate goal is to get this money to the Fidelity cash account, correct?
No, the ultimate goal is to figure out where it came from first. If it came from the trust, it's got to go back in the trust, and then he'll be able to use his other checking account once we get that squared away to fund his Fidelity account. We're trying to track down where the funds came from. So that's why I said I'm assuming from what you're saying you can't see this. So then I would take that as we need to contact UMB National tomorrow to get them to tell us where the transaction happened.
What I would do is reach out to whichever institution has your trust account that you've been speaking on, the one that he wasn't supposed to touch. Because if you can find there's a $500 debit there, that would confirm if that's the account it came from.
Right, but I don't know if you're familiar with trust accounts. You're not able to see the ledger balance like that. So that's the problem there. That's why we're doing this way, because you're with a trust, you're not able to do that.
Yeah, I mean for the trust accounts that we have here, you can definitely see a running balance. So I'm not sure why they're at the institution, but yeah, at the end of the day here, Mike, I can't see where that money came from. I don't even see the evidence of that $500 check. I'm not sure how this was processed on the website. So what I would say is you can definitely give a try at the UMB Bank or try to find where that trust account is at that institution.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Cut from. If you want, because the ultimate goal is to fund this account, do you have that transfer of assets coming in? I can also provide you the correct phone number or the address to forward the check to us in the future if you want to contribute it that way.
Okay. Yeah, we'll call UMB tomorrow. There's got to be a record somewhere, so I assume that UMB would have that. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and your patience, and I'm sorry for the confusion.
No, that's okay, Mike. That's okay. No need to apologize. I'll leave some notes on the account about our conversation today, so if you folks have to call back at all, we'll be ready and be able to assist you as best as possible.
Thank you.
All right. Is that everything as well, Bruce? Are you all set?
Yeah, I'm gonna just have to give a call to the online bill payment process.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll call them
Just wanna
tomorrow,
confirm,
Brucey.
folks.
I think that they probably have banker's hours, so they won't be open now. So we'll call them tomorrow.
Okay. If you guys have any additional questions, just give us a call back. We'll be here, okay?
Thank you so much.
Take care now.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hold on, Bruce. Hold on, Bruce. I'm going to call you right back. All right, guys. So as you just heard, I'm calling Bruce back, but as you heard, there's like no record of this anywhere. He used the letter G. It was the reserve letter G to fund this. Hey Bruce, so I'm wrapping up on this video, so we're gonna have to call UNB National tomorrow in order to find out some more information. But that is really strange that they have absolutely no record of this anywhere, and that you received this check. Now,
First time, remember?
yeah.
I was like, they kept saying that to me the last time, and I was like, when I called UNB National and I gave them all this number, they said that it came from. Watch, when we call tomorrow, you will see exactly what they're gonna say. They're gonna say that check came from Fidelity. Like, I'm telling you, that's what they told me.
So yeah, this is definitely giving some insight on some stuff. But anyway, Bruce, with with all the information that we just got, or lack thereof, it shows the deception here, that it's like they kind of like erase all traces of this. And that's what's happening with the different processes that people are paying, the different lenders and the creditors, and then all of a sudden they say, oh no, this reversed, or some people are having the same problem where it's like the transaction never happened. But obviously the money is kept. Now, Bruce, you were saying that you can't cash the check, but when we were talking, you said you can. So, you're able to cash the check, just not at Walmart?
Yeah, I was saying it like I was saying that, and like as in people out in where I'm at in the hood, they don't care as long as it's a watermark check, they gonna cash it.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't care about the big. What I mean by I couldn't cash it, because when I walked in Walmart, they wouldn't cash it.
Right.
They got a PLS ticket, they wouldn't cash it. Ace couldn't cash it. I even tried what was it? It's another little bank over here called Comerica Bank. I even tried to walk in a bank, and you have to have a bank account to cash checks.
Right. But when you called UMB though, they said that the check was valid and it was good and that the funds were there, correct?
They told me that I can go use this check. I can go cash it at any third party.
Right.
That will accept the check.
The reason why you weren't.
Like
the reason, as we figured out in the live stream, the reason why you weren't able to cash it at Walmart and some of those other places is because those places they use telecheck, and this bank specifically doesn't cooperate with telecheck. That's why you weren't able to use it, because some of these banking places will only cash checks that work with the processors that they use, or are checks that are on the list that they have. So that's why you were not. If you were to take this check to any other place, we'll figure it out tomorrow. We'll have more information tomorrow. I don't want to give any incorrect information, but as you were told from UMB when you called them, that this check is good and valid and it can be cashed. So good. This was a good call. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what did we really find out here? Well, what we found out here is that there was a $500 check sent to Bruce, which UMB National says the money is there and can be cashed. Fidelity, which is the person that he tried to fund his account through, Fidelity is saying that that the transaction never happened, but clearly it did, being they admitted that UMB National is the bank that handles their processes and their payments. So the fact that we can't get any information on this is really, really strange. It's very, very weird. So guys, we're going to keep trying to get to the bottom of this, because I think that this is pretty important information, as this really shows, that these different banks and lenders and creditors, they're getting the payments and they're keeping them. They're telling you that they didn't receive them or that they were reversed, but we know that they can't be sent back. So this is good information. Thank you, Bruce, for hanging out and allowing us to do this. And Bruce, I will be calling you tomorrow. We're gonna have to call them sometime between the bankers' hours, between 9 and 5. We'll call UMB National and we'll get to the bottom of it. All right, brother?
All right. I'm ready.
Sounds good, man. All right. I'll give you a shout tomorrow, Brucey.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks, bud. All right, guys. So, I hope that you guys see this as valuable as I do. Just the simple fact that there's got to be a record of transactions somewhere. It's just insane that they're saying there isn't. If you guys like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, do so now. Most importantly, share this information. Get this out everywhere, because this is showing the deception and the weird just goings on that happen regarding these accounts. All right, guys. Much love.